Christmas in 1960s Australia was a completely different experience from today. Not just the decorations or the presents, but the entire feeling, rhythm, and ritual of the season. There were traditions, moments, and experiences that every Australian child of that decade knew intimately, that defined what Christmas meant, and that have now vanished so completely that younger generations can barely imagine them. These weren't just quaint customs, they were the texture of Christmas itself, the things that made it magical, meaningful, and uniquely Australian. This is about 10 lost Christmas memories from Australia in the 1960s, moments that shaped a generation and exist now only in fading recollection. Let's remember the Christmas we've lost? Number 1, the certainty that Christmas was the same every year. And here's the most lost Christmas memory from the 1960s, the absolute certainty that Christmas would be the same every year. Same decorations, same food, same traditions, same people, same routine. Christmas was predictable, unchanging, reliable. You knew what would happen, what you'd eat, who would be there, how the day would unfold. That consistency created security, anticipation, and a sense that Christmas was eternal and unchanging. Modern Christmases are variable, families scattered, traditions negotiable, plans flexible. There's no guarantee Christmas will look the same from year to year. The loss of that certainty, that anchoring consistency, might be the saddest change of all. Christmas in the 60s wasn't just a day, it was a ritual that repeated exactly, year after year, creating a rhythm you could depend on absolutely. Number 2, Christmas morning beginning at dawn. Christmas morning in the 1960s started early, really early. Kids would wake at first light, around 5 a.m. in midsummer, and race to see what Santa had brought. There was no sleeping in, no waiting for parents, no organized gift opening schedule. You'd tear into presents in semi-darkness, parents stumbling out in dressing gowns, chaos and wrapping paper everywhere. The whole event was over by 6 a.m., and the rest of the day stretched ahead. That early morning frenzy, the excitement that couldn't wait for a reasonable hour, was pure childhood joy, untempered by adult scheduling. Modern Christmas mornings are more controlled, starting at civilized hours with coffee first and organized gift distribution. Something's been gained in sanity but lost in spontaneous excitement. Number 3, handmade decorations as the only decorations. In the 1960s, Christmas decorations weren't bought, they were made. Paper snowflakes cut from newspaper, cardboard stars covered in foil, cotton wool glued to cardboard to make snow scenes, crepe paper streamers, homemade baubles. Decorating the house meant getting out the box of decorations you'd made over the years, adding new ones, and creating something unique. Shop-bought decorations existed but were expensive, so most families relied on what they could make. This meant every house's decorations were different, personal, often slightly wonky, and treasured. The activity of making decorations was part of Christmas preparation, something children did for weeks beforehand. The shift to mass-produced, matching, store-bought decorations changed Christmas from creative craft project to consumer exercise. Number 4, the post-Christmas seafood feast on the beach. Boxing Day in the 1960s often meant packing up and heading to the beach for a seafood feast. Families would bring prawns, oysters, crab, and fish, set up on the sand, and spend the day swimming and eating. It was casual, messy, and quintessentially Australian, the antithesis of Northern Hemisphere Christmas, but perfectly suited to Australian summer. The seafood was fresh, often bought that morning from markets or fishermen, and the whole extended family would be there. You'd swim, eat, swim again, play cricket on the sand, and stay until dark. This wasn't a once-off special event, it was what you did on Boxing Day, as traditional as turkey was in England. While beach trips still happen, the specific tradition of the post-Christmas seafood feast has faded, replaced by more varied holiday plans. Number 5, Christmas Layby Pickup Day. Christmas shopping in the 1960s often meant Layby putting items aside and paying them off over months. The week before Christmas, you'd go to the shop to pick up everything you'd been paying for since September. Layby Pickup Day was an event you'd collect bags of wrapped presents, tick items off lists, finally see everything together, and feel the relief of having completed Christmas shopping. The Layby system meant Christmas was planned months in advance, budgeted carefully, and paid for before it arrived. There was no credit card debt, no Christmas financial hangover. When you picked up your lay-by, Christmas was paid for and ready. That system of delayed gratification and careful planning has been replaced by buy now, pay later schemes and credit, changing the entire financial dynamic of Christmas. Number 6. Real candles on the Christmas tree. Before fairy lights became universal and safe, some Australian families decorated their trees with real candles. Small candles clipped to branches, lit on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, creating a magical, flickering glow. It was beautiful and genuinely dangerous, a fire hazard that required constant watching and buckets of water nearby. The candles would only be lit for short periods, under supervision, and the whole family would gather to watch the tree glow. The practice was dying out by the late 60s as electric lights became affordable and the fire risk became unacceptable. But for families who did it, those candle-lit trees were breathtaking. The danger was part of the magic that sensed that this was special, precious, and temporary. Number 7. The summer Christmas party circuit. Christmas in the 1960s meant a solid week of parties. Family parties, neighborhood parties, work parties, church parties. These weren't organized months in advance with caterers and venues. They were backyard affairs with trestle tables, homemade food, and everyone invited. You'd go to 3 or 4 parties between Christmas and New Year, eating similar food at each one, seeing the same people, wearing your best summer clothes. The parties were hot, casual, and long, running from afternoon into evening. Kids would play in the yard while adults talked, drank, and ate. There was no RSVP culture, no fancy invitations, you just showed up. That circuit of summer parties, the expectation that Christmas week meant constant socializing, has largely disappeared, replaced by smaller, more planned gatherings or nothing at all. Number 8. Carol singers actually coming to your door. In the 1960s, carol singers weren't just on TV, they came to your door. Groups of children or church choirs would walk through neighborhoods on December evenings, knocking on doors and singing carols. You'd open the door to find kids in summer clothes singing Silent Night while cicadas buzzed in the background. You'd listen, applaud, give them coins or biscuits, and they'd move to the next house. It was charming, communal, and completely normal. The idea of strangers coming to your door at night to sing is now unthinkable, but in the 60s, it was part of Christmas, a tradition that brought the season directly to you. Do you remember standing on your front porch, listening to slightly off-key renditions of Away in a Manger and feeling that Christmas had truly arrived? Number 9. The absolute chaos of Christmas Eve shopping. Christmas Eve in the 1960s meant one thing: chaos. Shops would be packed with desperate last-minute shoppers, aisles jammed, shelves picked over, staff overwhelmed. It wasn't poor planning, it was tradition. Many Australians did their Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve deliberately, partly because wages were often paid late in December, partly because shops had massive sales, partly because it was just what you did. The atmosphere was frantic but joyful, everyone scrambling for last-minute gifts, greeting each other, sharing the madness. Shops stayed open late, sometimes until midnight, and the whole experience was communal, stressful, and somehow part of the celebration. That Christmas Eve shopping frenzy, the crowds, the urgency, the shared desperation, it's gone now, replaced by online ordering and extended December trading hours that spread the chaos out until there is no chaos at all. Number 10. Making paper chains to count down December. In the 1960s, the Christmas countdown wasn't a chocolate calendar bought from a shop, it was paper chains you made yourself. Long strips of coloured paper glued into interlocking loops, creating a chain with 24 links. Every morning in December, you'd tear off one link, counting down to Christmas Day. Making the chains was a family activity, sitting at the kitchen table with paper, glue, and scissors, creating something simple but meaningful. The chain would hang across the lounge room or down the hallway, getting shorter each day, building anticipation in a tangible, visible way. By Christmas Eve, you were down to the last link, and tearing it off was a ceremony in itself. That physical countdown, made by hand, visible every day, created anticipation that modern digital countdowns or shop-bought calendars can't replicate. So there you have it, 10 lost Christmas memories from 1960s Australia. Paper chain countdowns, Christmas Eve shopping chaos, door-to-door carol singers, the party circuit, candles on trees, lay-by pickup day, Boxing Day, seafood feasts, handmade decorations, dawn gift openings, and the certainty of unchanging tradition. These weren't luxurious or expensive memories. They were simple, communal, and built from whatever resources families had. But they created a Christmas experience that was tangible, participatory, and deeply felt. We've gained convenience, safety, and variety in modern Christmas. We've lost the handmade quality, the communal rituals, and the reliable repetition that made 60s Christmas feel sacred. Whether you see that as progress or loss probably depends on which Christmas you grew up with. But there's no denying that something fundamental has changed, and those who remember 60s Christmas carry memories of a season that was simpler, harder, and somehow more magical than anything we can create today. Which of these memories resonates most with you, and what's one 1960s Christmas tradition you wish still existed? This was Retro Australia, where the past is still alive.